We like to think that our obsession with phones and social media is something new, but the truth is people have always looked for ways to distract themselves. Whether it's scrolling on TikTok or flipping through a book, humans have a long history of turning to entertainment and information to pass the time, or to avoid reality. Long before screens and likes, people filled their minds with whatever was available, and sometimes those distractions were just as addictive as the apps we use today. If you go back far enough, you'll find the things that we think of as modern problems are really just old habits in new packaging. Take the reading rage from the 1700s and the 1800s. During this time, books became cheaper and easier to get, thanks to advances in printing. People started reading novels for fun, not just for education or religion. And for some critics of the time, that was a problem. They thought people, especially women, were getting too obsessed with stories. They worried reading was making people antisocial or emotional, or even lazy. Sound familiar? The way they talked about novels back then is almost the same way people talked about social media now. People were staying up late to finish chapters, ignoring chores, or getting too invested in fictional characters. Some writers even warned that too much reading could ruin your health or damage your brain. But for readers, books were a way to escape daily life, to experience something bigger than themselves, or just to enjoy a good story when the world felt too dull or too hard. Then came newspapers and magazines, which were like the social media feeds of the 19th and early 20th centuries. Every day, people rushed to get their hands on the latest headlines. In cities, newspaper boys shouted breaking news on every corner. Papers were filled with politics, gossip, scandals, murders, and strange stories from around the world. And just like today, people were glued to it. Some would read every page from front to back, soaking up stories about celebrities, wars, or the latest inventions. Others just wanted the juicy stuff, the tabloid-style writing that gave them something to talk about over dinner. Editorials told people what to think. Cartoons made fun of public figures, and letters to the editor let regular people join the conversation. It was interactive in its own way. Some readers became so loyal to their favorite papers that it felt like being a part of a community, or even a team. If you think Twitter fights are intense, just look at the arguments people used to have through newspapers. These papers weren't just for information. They were a form of entertainment, a daily habit, and for many, a break from the routine of everyday life. By the early 1900s, distractions got even bigger. Radio shows became the main way people stayed connected and entertained. Families would gather around the radio like we gather around screens now. They listened to live music, comedy, mysteries, and soap operas. And yes, some people got hooked. There were kids pretending to be radio heroes, parents who planned their evenings around a favorite show, and neighbors who gossiped about last night's episode like it was a real event. Some people even wrote fan letters to the actors, long before fan accounts and comment sections were a thing. And when television arrived in the mid-20th century, it only expanded that world. Suddenly, images were added to sound, and people could see stories unfold in real time. TV shows created shared experiences, new celebrities, and daily routines built around screen time. Sound familiar again? Even before all of that, though, people found smaller ways to escape boredom or stress. In the Victorian era, some people collected oddities and displayed them in cabinets of curiosity. Others played parlor games, solved riddles, or spent hours writing letters. In ancient Rome, people went to the baths to socialize and gossip. Even in medieval Europe, people gathered in taverns or watched traveling performers. Wherever you look in history, you'll find people finding ways to pass time, share stories, or forget their problems, even if only for a moment. There's something very human about needing a break from reality. The truth is, we've always had distractions. The tools have changed, but the desire hasn't. Whether it's novels, newspapers, radio, or Instagram, we keep coming back to the same need: to connect, to escape, to be entertained, or just to fill a quiet moment. Some people will always warn that the newest form of distraction is dangerous or unhealthy. And maybe sometimes they're right. But these habits also tell us something about ourselves. They show how much we crave stories, conversation, excitement, and a little bit of escape. Social media might seem like a huge change, but it's really just the next version of something we've always done. So next time you catch yourself scrolling mindlessly, don't feel too bad. Chances are, if you were born in the 1800s, you'd be sneaking a novel under your desk or reading the latest scandal in the newspaper. The platforms may be new, but the instincts are ancient. We've always looked for something to hold our attention, and we always will. Like, comment, and subscribe for daily history and culture content.